The most painful motorcycle deaths ever. This one's a touchy subject for me because I actually own a motorcycle. I went through a little motorcycle phase for about, a year. That classic 20-year-old motorcycle phase. So let's see what could have happened if I kept riding the motorcycle. I don't ride it anymore for a lot of reasons. I'll get into that.
The face incident. In the summer of 2021, on a remote highway in Turkey, a young man deeply in love with his motorcycle woke up to a nice sunny day and decided that it was the best time to take his bike out for a spin. A nice leather jacket with protective boots, gloves, and a helmet was what this man quickly threw on before going out for the ride.
That's a good outfit right there. That's a good outfit. I don't know what pants he said, but nice leather jacket. Actually, nice leather jacket. No, because it has to be like motorcycle grade, like motorcycle proof, right? Like it has to be built for that. There's even some clothes that have airbags in them. Like you'll fall off the bike and then an airbag will literally activate. It's kind of crazy, but it's also very expensive.
Just kidding. He decided that he didn't want to wear any of that since it's a hot summer day.
Okay.
But on the bright
that is exactly what happens. You want to stay protected, but it's too hot. So guess what I'm gonna do? Shorts and a t-shirt.
side, at least he decided to keep his helmet on, right?
No.
After making sure that
No way. He went, no helmet? I've never rode my motorcycle without my helmet, ever in my life.
he was wearing no protective gear at all, this rider would then take his sport bike for a nice, calm ride.
No, it's
Of
not calm. I
120
knew it.
miles per
I
hour.
already knew it. Okay. Wow. Oh my gosh. I
Hitting
can't
the
believe
highways,
it. No.
the rider couldn't contain himself and began speeding as fast as possible on his bike. However, unbeknownst to him, a steep turn with a guardrail would appear on the highway out of nowhere.
A steep turn.
Unable to correct his path in time, he was flung from the bike and hurled face first into the corner of a steel
my gosh.
guardrail.
Oh.
The impact was so violent that it completely removed the entire front of his head
Yeah.
and face.
Yeah.
His eyes, nose, jaw, and facial skin were instantly torn away, leaving only the back of his skull intact. Bystanders who arrived moments later could hardly process what they were seeing. It looked less like an accident and more like a war zone.
Yeah, that's gonna traumatize somebody. I don't know where you get the balls to ride without a helmet. I see people do it all the time, but mostly it's on those little cruiser bikes. The ones where they're up like this and they're. I don't really see it too often with sports bikes, but yeah, I mean, there's just no way. There's just no way I could do it.
They searched for his body, and upon
Not that I even ride my bike anymore. I don't really ride my bike because, well, I don't want to die. And I don't have health insurance. And I don't have a driver's license. Okay. I was driving my bike without a motorcycle's license. Yes, that is true. But I stopped.
glimpse were instantly traumatized since it didn't really look like a human anymore. Bystanders did what they could, but unfortunately, he never had a chance. Emergency
No, there's no chance. There's no chance at all. Most of the time, I really think that if you get on a motorcycle and you have no helmet on and you crash, you're probably dead. If you crash at a high speed, a driving speed.
responders pronounced him unresponsive at the scene.
The
This
pole
next
incident.
situation
Oh my
was
gosh.
just past midnight on April 1st,
Oh my gosh.
2025 in Phuket, Thailand. The streets were mostly empty, the air was heavy.
They bike everywhere. They motorcycle everywhere in Thailand. It's mostly like mopeds though, huh? Like a little ging, 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 ging.
And it was the kind of night that felt slower than it actually was. But not for one guy. This rider was flying down Bypass Road on a red and
That's
black
actually pretty
Honda
cool.
Forza. Probably just out for a ride, maybe trying to clear his
It's
head.
not rainy,
maybe
was it?
just pushing the throttle for the thrill of it. Whatever the reason, he was moving fast. Very fast. Then, in a split second, everything went wrong. He lost control of the bike, and with no time to correct and no time to react, he slammed straight into an electricity pole. The crash wasn't just bad, it was horrific. The impact was so violent that it cut his body in half. His upper half was found under the pole. His lower half? Thrown almost 200 feet down the road. His heart and organs were scattered across the scene. And somehow, his helmet was still on, but it didn't save him. Not from that.
Yeah.
They later confirmed he was a Russian national. They never released his name and just let his story be another brutal reminder of how unforgiving speed can be. You always think it won't happen to you until it does.
All right, confession. Fastest I ever went on a motorcycle was 130 miles per hour. That's my confession. Yes, irresponsible, idiotic, but that's my confession, okay? I don't ride motorcycles anymore. Again, I've already stated why. But let's be honest here. I'm talking to you, young man, young 20-year-old man, or young 40-year-old man that was once 20, or hey, even the ladies get crazy. But I think guys are genuinely more crazy. You've probably pushed the speed in a car, right? You went 100, 110, Come on now. You've done it. Let's be honest here, okay? Don't judge me. I'm sorry, okay? I said I'm sorry.
The haircut incident.
The haircut incident? What the heck is this one going to be?
Macapuru, Brazil, a small riverside town that doesn't usually make international headlines, would go viral for once, but for all the wrong reasons. A man was riding his motorcycle through the city streets, and from the looks of it, he wasn't really going slow. While another biker was trying to make a left turn, the man unknowingly would get into a head-on collision with him. And the crash would be so forceful that it would launch him right off of his bike, straight onto his head. And surprisingly, the accident wasn't too detrimental.
Okay.
He only suffered a couple of cuts and sprains to his body.
What's going to happen?
That's what I would say if he was wearing a...
Okay. All right. Let's just continue here.
But once again, this rider decided to ride without one. So, instead, when he crashed and landed on his head, the force of the impact was so intense that it ripped the skin right off his scalp.
Give that boy a taper fade.
It wasn't just a cut.
I'm sorry, that's not funny.
His scalp was completely peeled back, exposing raw bone. And when I say raw bone, I literally mean that his skull, muscle, and the whole horrifying anatomy of a human head were exposed to the world. A lot of people were confused by the bizarre nature of the accident and couldn't really understand how it could happen to a person. But, horrifyingly enough, it happens a lot.
Oh my gosh.
The injury is called degloving. Imagine the skin on your body.
That's got to be one of the worst ways to die. I mean, I guess, do you really feel it? Do you really feel whenever that happens to you? I think you would just die, right? You would just die instantly.
Torn off like a glove. Probably not the best thing to imagine, but that's what doctors describe it as, and that's what happened to this man. The fire truck incident. On the 15 freeway in Rancho Cucamonga, California, a routine night drive turned into a deadly inferno, and it all started with a motorcyclist and a semi-truck.
Semi-trucks are so terrifying when you're on a motorcycle because you get hit with their little wind, you know what I mean? But some daredevils, this is how I know motorcycling isn't for me. Like, being just being a crazy motorcyclist, because some of these people will literally drive in between two semi-trucks. They'll be on the highway, two semi-trucks in a lane, and they'll bike in between the semi-trucks. Most of the time at 100+ miles per hour. It's literally wild.
The exact reason isn't clear. No one knows if the biker swerved, miscalculated, or just didn't see the truck coming. But what we do know is that he collided with the big rig at freeway speed, which is anywhere from 65 to 85 miles per an hour, and the impact was devastating. As if smashing into a semi-truck on a
It wasn't devastating for the semi-truck, that's for sure. It probably just put a little baby dent.
Motorcycle isn't already bad enough. The biker would be trapped underneath the vehicle.
Oh my gosh. Oh, don't tell me he's alive. His eyes open. Don't tell me he's alive.
While its diesel leaked out of its fuel tank. And unfortunately for him, the sparks from the accident would...
He's alive. He's alive. And not only is he alive, he is literally about to burst into flames. And that, my friend, you are going to feel, and it's going to be the worst death ever. And
light both his motorcycle and the 30,000-pound semi-truck up in a blaze. The truck driver was quick enough to escape, but once again, since the biker was trapped, he was engulfed in what would be known as one of the biggest fires the freeway had seen in years.
Oh my gosh.
This fire was so big that it took 3 fire engines to try to control the blaze, and the highway was shut down for hours. When they finally arrived at his body, they immediately called it the sign incident.
Wow.
In Thailand.
Wow. Just wow. What is this one going to be? Because they seem to progressively get worse. What's this one going to be?
2019 on a highway just outside of Bangkok, where traffic moves fast and helmet laws are
Bangkok
loosely followed. A guy,
it's like a song, isn't
once
it?
again, not wearing a helmet,
no helmet,
was riding his motorcycle at a high rate of speed, zooming in and out.
Do you think it's ever okay to not wear a helmet? It's always a risk. Do it at your own risk. But on a sports bike, it should just be illegal. If your bike can go 160 miles per hour, you should have to wear a helmet. But I mean, I guess that is their choice. That is their choice. And a lot of times on motorcycles, it's just the motorcycle that gets injured, not anybody else. Most of the time. I'm sure there's exceptions and I could be wrong.
Of traffic. While going down the road, his bike would randomly hit a pothole, and his attempt to avoid it would be where things went horribly wrong. He heavily swerved and got launched off his bike so forcefully that it'd throw him airborne and he'd go flying for a few seconds.
For a few seconds? Oh my, yeah, which actually does sound kind of fun, kind of like it'd be a fun time. Oh, it's like I always like to imagine that if I somehow fell off of a building and that's my last seconds, I like to think to myself, I'm being serious, that just for a moment, maybe I'd be at peace. Maybe I'd fly through the air, put out my arms like I have wings and just accept it. But in reality, I'd probably be screaming and scared and praying.
Kind of fun, because bouncing and flying around in a controlled area is usually a fun experience. Whether you've gone bungee jumping, skydiving, or have randomly experienced flying in your dreams, I'd say it's a pretty enjoyable thing. Just not when you go flying headfirst into a road sign, which is what happened to this guy. He was flung so hard at the road sign that it perfectly decapitated his head and left his body continuing on with...
So that'd be so ironic. I don't know if you just put a stop sign there for the sake of the video, but it'd be so ironic if you crashed your motorcycle right into a stop sign. Completely ironic.
With its momentum. And disturbingly, his head actually hit the sign so hard that it became stuck to it. The scene was so brutal that it even traumatized seasoned first responders. And obviously, sadly, he passed away. The paper incident. In late 2000...
There was only one time where I've ever had a motorcycle crash, or not a crash. I never crashed, but I was riding a little bit faster than I should have on just a few extra miles. Like it was probably a 50, and maybe I was going 65. I don't know. It was like a road, and it was like a road, not a neighborhood. It was you merge off a highway and then you get onto a road. You know what I mean? And so I was riding in this lane to go straight, and then this guy gets over in front of me from like 2 lanes over. Like he just goes and tries to make a turn really fast. And then he hits my light or my mirror, and I almost fall off, but like I'm Batman or something. I'm joking. It was very anticlimactic. It was actually very fortunate that he didn't hit me more, but I think that pretty much scared me. That made me realize, oh, maybe I don't want to do this. Because they say every motorcycle, it's not if you crash, it's when you crash. That's what they say. And I do believe that. I do believe that.
15. A motorcyclist in Shenzhen, or Guangzhou,
for most people, of course,
a busy Chinese city, was on his way to work when he stumbled across heavy traffic and a very large cement mixing truck on the road.
No.
As is common in densely populated urban cities, he began lane splitting in between traffic to get through the cars.
That's something I've never done. I've never lane split. I was always too scared that somebody was going to open their door on me or be like, get mad and hit me or something. I don't know.
Funnily enough, this is actually a good thing for most bikers to do, as lane splitting lessens congested traffic and heavily reduces the risk of motorcycles getting... I
have zero issue when somebody lane splits. Zero issue. If somebody's driving respectfully, just lane splitting, they get... It's legal in some states, there's no issue with that. He gets somewhere faster than me. I don't care. If I care, then I should be on a motorcycle. You know what I mean? I think that, I don't know what it is with people getting angry at motorcycles for that. If they're being respectful, of course.
Rear-ended by cars that don't see them. So this rider gets a gold star for practicing smart riding. Ironically, however, when the light turned green, he accidentally dropped his bike and fell off of it right in front.
No. How does that even happen? How do you drop your bike? Okay.
Of that ginormous cement mixing truck I mentioned earlier. Panic exploded out from bystanders, and they would all try to get the trucker to stop driving, but by the time he had even noticed he rode over anything, it was already too late.
Oh.
All 12 wheels of the 30,000-pound truck trampled over his body. The rider wasn't just crushed, he was effectively flattened into the road's pavement.
Oh.
Witnesses and first responders described his body as being no thicker than a sheet of paper on the road.
Oh.
City sanitation workers and police disturbingly had to resort to using shovels to scrape his body off the road and put it into a dustpan.
Oh. Into a dustpan? What are you saying?
His body was so pulverized that he couldn't even be put into a casket for burial. I don't really know why you like traumatizing yourself with stories like these, but that's all for now. Have a happy day.
Yeah, thanks. Actually, this puppy right here, great way to end the video. Thank you so much, because that was a very, very depressing video. Moral of the story, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to ride on a motorcycle, most of these probably will never happen to you, but most motorcyclists do have a story about how they got hurt, I feel like. So just be careful, wear a helmet, or maybe don't ride them at all. Thanks for watching.